I'm here with Maurice and Fabian of Legion of the Dam to talk about the upcoming new record, the Poison Chalice, out on Napalm Records. How are you guys doing today?
Good, excellent, great.
So let me ask you this. Let me start off by talking a little bit about the creative process behind this album. How was it for you guys this time around? Do you guys follow the same process as before, or do you allow each album to have its own creative road?
Yeah, he's eating candy. No, it usually depends also on where we record the album. You know, with Andy Klassen, there's always this, you have this kind of structure how you record an album. Now we went to a different studio, so of course how do you say it? Like the structure that you record an album is of course different. And for me, vocal wise was different, that I could choose the day where I did the vocals. So I did 2 songs on vocals and then have a week off and then come back. When we did the albums with Andy Klassen, we always had like 3-week stops to be in the studio, including mixing. I had to be done in 3 days. There was no room to relax, you know, sometimes 4 or 5 songs on the day. Yeah, it's different, and it's different. So I like this because, yeah, you're getting older. You need more power to get your vocals done. So it was cool that Aaron said, like, okay, I hear your voice is going a little bit bad, so take it easy, go home, come back next week. In the meantime, we'll do some solos and stuff. So yeah, that was completely different, and we were able to do that because the studio was close by. That was also a reason for me to go to that studio. Because if we went back to Andy, we had to stay there for 3 weeks or drive, but it was pretty far for us. And so that went well. So yeah, that's one of the differences for me to experience. And for them, I think they have been in the studio all individually. So Fabian did this thing, I did my thing, and you really need to trust each other, you know. So with Andy Klassen, we were always been together. With mixing time and stuff, and now for time wise it was better to do everybody on his own, but yeah, you need good trust in each other.
How much pre-production do you guys do going in before even entering the studio?
Well, I know that pre-production for the songs, because the guys, Harold, Twan, and also when we had Richard, also Eric, they like to go in studio when all the songs are done. I know that there are a lot of bands that have probably half the album done, and they write songs in the studio or fix stuff in the studio. We don't want that. We have been recording Feel the Blade album in 1 week. And that's pretty amazing. That's pretty fast, and with mixing and everything in 1 week. And yeah, we always go in the studio prepared. And Andy Klassen really liked that. He's like, when Legion comes in, they know what to do. They record their songs. It's done. And we always kept that tradition. And the only thing that it's not done is vocals. I always get the lyrics, because I don't write the lyrics myself. I get the lyrics in last moment, so they usually don't know where the lyrics is going to be. So it's for them, yeah, they need to put a lot of trust in me and know that it's going to be all right. And that has been always be the case. And sometimes we rewrite some stuff in studio or vocal wise. So that's something that it's not done completely.
When it comes to making an album for you guys, what part of the process do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy creating the songs, working on the lyrics? Do you enjoy the recording process, or you don't enjoy anything, and at the end of the day you just want to make an album so you have a reason to tour and play live shows?
Right. The last one. Yeah, for me, I told the other journalists before you, I said, like, I'm not a fan of recording, but it's something that, yeah, you have to do it. And the reason for that is that yeah, I'm getting older, and I'm always nervous that yeah, can I still deliver? You know, especially voice-wise. Yeah, it changes over age. So yeah, you always hope that you can still deliver the voice that you have, and yeah, that makes me nervous sometimes. And other than that, I mean, creating an album is cool. But of course, I like the part that it's done and you get the promoting and the video and then go on the road. That's where you live for. But of course, you need to do an album. But it's different for a guitar player, you know, because guitar players, they're really into technical stuff, and they always sit around with the producer around the computer, and that's a different thing. With vocals, it's like get it done and go home. Yeah, that's you know, I started singing just because we had no singer. And so I'm not a microphone geek or whatever. So so that's different for, I think, for a guitar player. But yeah, I think we can relate.
I finished my candy, so I can talk now. Well, I enjoy every step of the way, to be exact, because I like to create music together. It was a really fun process to do it. For me, for the first time with Legion of the Damned, I played a lot of shows with them, especially in 2019 and 20. And so this was the first time to be a part of the writing process, and I really enjoyed it because everybody was open for new ideas and a new approach. So that worked out really well. I liked, I'm a guitar geek, so I like tone and challenges, and want to try some things, and I want to push it to the max. So that's also for me a fun part to explore. And what I also like is the process of the raw material, and then hearing the end products like in a mix, and you see how it develops. So that's, and now the next phase is of course the promoting. You get some feedback on what people think, and then comes the live shows, touring, festivals, and interaction with the fans. So I'm really excited.
So thinking that the end product of going on tour, playing shows, it's really important for you guys. When you're in the studio or when you're creating these songs, are you always thinking about how these songs are going to sound live, and that being a key important component of how the songs then turn out?
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing. And I'm usually the one that I think knows best because I'm the singer. So I see directly what the people are doing. For instance, Eric is sometimes way behind the drum kit. He doesn't know what the people. Sometimes he asks me like, "Oh, did he go crazy?" Or So especially for these bigger shows. But I see usually like if there's a lot of vocals and a lot of on the same riff, then people get kind of tired. They're looking at you like, "Yeah, okay, I'm singing." So eventually you know what is working and what's not working. And you also for a set list you make sure that there's a combination of a bit atmosphere and but also that the fans have have an opportunity to go really crazy and start headbanging. So that's really an important thing.
Yeah, and in the length of time you've got a really good idea of what's going to work live. So in the writing process, already you know what some riffs are going to do. So we are really excited to see if riffs are going to open up circle pits and unleashing all those crazy stuff. So, but we think we have enough in it.
When it comes to the songs themselves, to the sound of this record, for the fans of the band, what can you tell fans in terms of what they can expect from this album? Does this album have elements that you feel are going to be unique to this record, or is this just a continuation of the previous album?
It is a continuation, but it's on a different level. It has melodies, but more melodies, more structured melodies, more solos. There are solo battles. That's something we didn't do on the Slaves album because we had Twan only doing the writing. And that was also an advantage because we had Fabian now in it, and we have two guitar players who could challenge each other. So I think, it's on that level. It's a difference.
Yeah, and I think way more dynamics, and I think this is an album with really different songs. They are really well balanced, but there's not one single song that sounds the same as one another.
Having more volume, more live on the guitars now that you have this dynamic, does this allow the album to be perhaps a little bit more guitar-centric, a little bit more guitar-driven, more guitar-dependent?
Well, I think it's not only the volume, it's also the compositions. So there's more room for that part of the music. As the older songs are more written, the verse, the middle parts. It's all like A B C, and this is now more dynamic.
You mentioned before that you're a guitar geek. So how do you define yourself as a guitar player?
Well, what I think is important is that you hear a lot of pick attack, the aggressiveness, but also tone. I think that is sometimes forgotten to have a lot of tone and definition in the sound. So a lot of guitar players turn to rape their sound with way too much gain or distortion, and I like it clean. So it's perfect.
So are we going to see a lot of that on this record?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The title of the album is very interesting, The Poison Chalice. It has a little bit of dark and mysterious vibe to it. How does that title then translate to the lyrical content of the record? How do the two tie together?
It's similar to what we had with the Sons of the Jackal album, where you had the album title was Sons of the Jackal, and the song itself was Son of the Jackal, and the sons were all the individual lyrics combined together, and you had the Sons of the Jackal that were the whole part of the lyrics. And we have basically the same now. It's the Poison Chalice is also a combination of all the lyrics that we have, and it's the poison that comes out of the chalice are all the individual lyrics. And as the lyric writer says, it's a further left to a personal interpretation of whatever things about it. So you could just figure it out yourself.
Now that you guys have some time to perhaps look back and see at the work that you guys done on this album, does any song come out in your mind as perhaps the most challenging song, or the one that created a little bit more difficulties to get to where you guys needed that song to go?
Well, there was one song where I was too enthusiastic with the beats per minute. It was hell to record it. It was the fourth song. I have to look it up for the title. It was Skull Adores to the Trader's Gate. So I was really sweaty and I was dying 1,000 deaths recording it. So I was really happy to get to the lead part. That was quite good to do, but the rhythms were brutal, man. Oh. And the drummer was unforgiving. He said, "I have no mercy for you. You created this, so suck it up."
So let me ask you this. That song being the most challenging, is it one of your favorites now, considering that you slayed that dragon?
Well, yeah, I actually like every song on this album, but yeah, I really love the brutality of it.
Maurice, you mentioned your voice. You're getting older. You look like you're 21, so you look fine. But
not from here.
not from here.
It's the zoom. It's the camera. It's the filter.
Canada is a long way.
Vocally, do you do anything to prepare from record to record? Is there anything that you do to keep your voice fresh? I know you take the time when you're recording so that you don't overdo it. But is there something that you do even before the records when you're not touring or when you're on the road to keep your vocals always?
I should, but I don't do it. But sometimes I'm just, of course, it's a muscle, so you need to stretch it and stuff like that. I don't do it, and sometimes I go on stage and then blast my vocals, and that's not good. But I've never been into, I don't have the patience to it, to go somewhere and do my vocal course, whatever, heat up and whatever. I never do it. And once I'm in studio, I just need rest. That's the whole thing. And the difficult part in Andy's studio was that I did my vocals for the whole day. And then in the evening, we had a band room where we were sitting and watching TV. And then for the whole evening, I'm talking. talking and screaming and drinking beers, and then Andy classes to me like, shut up, you know, it's not good for your voice. Tomorrow you have to sing again. And that's something that, yeah, I talk a lot. So, and that was good for with Aaron. It's just only him and me in the studio. And once we know, like after 6-7 hours of singing, we're like, okay, that's it. You know, we have enough, and don't come back tomorrow. Just have the rest. But that's not that I'm coming home and then drink tea or whatever. I'm not doing that. But of course, during the vocal sessions in the studio, of course, I drink tea and I make sure that I'm healthy. And I think, yeah, if the power is still there, then it still works. So
vocally, how do you feel like this album ranks to you compared to the previous records? Was it easier for you vocally? Was it a little bit more challenging for you vocally?
I approached it this time differently because with Andy Klassen, I always sang the first line, and then we stopped, we listened to it. Oh, it's so good. We did the next line. The disadvantage is that it's clean. You know, you hear every line is nicely sang. But there's less power to it. You know, it's every line is nicely neat sang. And the reason for that was because the lyrics are so late delivered that, yeah, I don't know the lyrics, so I have to go line by line. And that's something that Aaron didn't like. He's like, yeah, but I want to hear you struggle. You know, I want to hear you breathing. So I'm like, yeah, but I see some lyrics, I see it for the first time. And then he's like, yeah, okay, just start slowly, you know, do 6 lines or 8 lines, and then do it again, and then again, and then again. And sometimes I did courses for like 10, 12, 15 times. And then I said like, yeah, I'm now getting into it. Now I'm feeling where it needs to be. And then it's like, okay, let me give your best shot. And then we started recording. And you've done it like 15 times. That's why I did one song for like the whole day. And then once you go to another line, you need to breathe and sing again. He's like, yeah, but that's what I want. I want you to hear struggling, and that gives it authentic feeling. And that's something I never did with Andy Klasse, because also the time frame, you know, we had to nail it the first time. And I like this. We had time. We can spend the whole day on one song, and if the vocals go down, and go home, come back next week. And yeah, we had because also of the COVID, you know, we have nothing going on. We couldn't release it earlier anyway, so we had time. So yeah, that was definitely a change.
One last question for you guys. So with the album coming out in May on Napalm Records, what are your plans after the album release? Are you guys, I know I'm sure you're looking at summer festivals, but are you looking at some tours? And the question that I get asked on my side of the Atlantic all the time is, when are you guys coming to North America?
Yeah, that's yeah. You know, America and Canada is really a different market, and since we've been doing Legions to Them, we have never got one proposal or one promoter reaching out to us like, hey, I'm interested in booking Legion for a festival. Never, not even one. And the thing is that some fans in the US, they start to think that we don't want to come. That we get offers, but we are constantly saying no. But we want to come. You know, we have been playing in Beirut, we've been playing in Mexico, and there are a lot of fans also say, yeah, if you go to Mexico, play there, why are you not coming to Los Angeles? You know, but yeah, you need a promoter there, and it's a different market. It's difficult, and of course we want to play. Of course we want to play. And I got in contact once with a Canadian festival. They were interested, but they said like, yeah, if Legions to Them is in the US, let me know. You can come to Canada. And I'm like, yeah, but we're not playing the US. You have to book us from Holland. And they say, yeah, but that's too expensive. Just let me know once you're here. But yeah, difficult. That's really difficult. So far, we have nothing planned. And I wrote some festivals like Milwaukee Death Fest and stuff. I never get a reply back, which is odd to me, because we've been touring with the biggest bands in Europe. You know, we are playing the biggest festivals. So you would say that a promoter in the US would be interested, but yeah, it's hard.
We need to change that. We need to change
that.
Yeah,
it's hard, and we are even willing to pay our own tickets, so you can have us, you know. So and I will really want to have our music across, and we have a lot of fans there that know us since 2005, and they yeah, they finally want to see us. And sometimes they give up hopes. They're like, yeah, well, I'm giving up hope. I will never see Leads of the Dam in the US. And I'm like, you know, if it's up to me. You know?
I'm not giving up hope. I mean, a worst case scenario, that means I have to go to Europe to see you guys play. And that's not a bad thing either. I got my passport, so I can make that happen. I'm a European citizen, so I have dual citizenship. I can make that happen. But I'm not giving up hope. I think you guys need to play on this side of the Atlantic. Obviously, you guys want to play. I think it's just a matter of the right opportunity coming along. Yeah. Maybe this album will be the album that opens the doors for you guys.
Yeah, and we need people like you. You know, I really that's why I wrote to you about when I first saw your video with your son, right? Yeah. Doing the Slays video, I was really like, great. You know, we need people like you. You really liked the video that I did with the fire and stuff, and you were with your son. You were like banging on it. Yeah, I sent it to the guys. Yeah, we need people like you, and otherwise, yeah, it's hard to get your name.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna do my part. Every video that you guys release for this album, we're gonna cover on the channel. I'm gonna check out the album and do a review. We're having this chat now. I'm gonna do everything that I can to get more people on this side of the Atlantic listening to you guys, listening to your record. The last album was phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. Slaves of the Southern Cross, my son is obsessed with this song. He still listens to it. It's in on high rotation. I love that track. So we need to change this, and we need to put some heavy work behind it. Everything that I can do on my end, you guys let me know. The doors are always open. I just want to thank you for taking the time today to chatting with me. It was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And then the first video is coming out 27th of February, done by Groupa, and it's a big company, so yeah, so you can do a review on that one.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to be checking it out.
I'm looking forward to that one. So thank you.
Take care, guys. All the best.
And say hello to your son.
I will. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.